Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are streaming. Is everybody here?
Yep. Who are we missing? Dwayne and
Let's see here.
Deborah?
Is Dennis not on here?
Dwayne.
Dwayne, not Dennis. Yeah, I don't see him on here.
Rob Reel,
Deborah, is she here?
Deborah, yeah. Shelley, any of them indicate to you whether or not they could make it?
I did not see any emails or anything.
Okay. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alpha, are you there by phone?
She is.
Yeah, she's muted.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight's enough. If anybody comes in later, that's okay.
Okay.
Shelley, we were gonna have a public comment. Is she having trouble?
She was having trouble getting on using her iPad, and I couldn't help her get on there. So she gave me a list of the things that she wanted to say.
Did she get an invitation?
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't appear to be on our end that,
I think she didn't have Zoom on her iPad, and she was trying to get it set up, and it wasn't working.
okay. Well, let's go ahead and start. As she pops in here, we'll deal with it, I guess. Joe, Secretary's report minutes. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to say Joe, number 6, she recognized that the board recognized Roxanne and Alpha, but she deleted the recognition the board gave to her. And I'm sure that was on purpose, but we did recognize her son, Sean, for his coverage and accomplishments. So I would like for that to be added back in.
Well, boy, that puts you on the spot,
It did, yeah.
Secretary. With that amendment, do I have a motion to approve the minute?
This is Roxanne. I so move.
I second. This is Alpha.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Joe, anything else from the secretary?
No.
Treva, you're muted. You want to give us the treasurer's report? Yeah. I don't know how we're going to get her to unmute here.
How about, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right, sorry. I think the P&L for January is pretty much in line with what we had in the prior month. I did want to emphasize that we have changed our method for collecting hotspot receipts to PayPal. And this has caused a few accounting glitches, and the corrections we have made, but there may be some that are carrying over. The main concern is that we just get the income in the period matched with the expenses for the period. So that's what we're working on. In the earlier report, year to date was mainly the same things. The 5,100, which is over budget, is just annual subscriptions, so it should level out by the end of the year. And also 5,500 has several annual things in there. We've got the 10 share dues, and we've got chamber dues. And of course, they should level out over the months and would be back to the correct percentage by the end of the year. And there are no changes really in the other income and other expenses. It's pretty much as it was in December. There was the tech grant, the penny tank for money, and then we had the two grants from HALMET and East Tennessee Foundation. And the expenses down there are just for the grants for cricket and some programs that the grants were for. So everything seems in line to me. Any questions?
Anybody have anything to ask Treva? And we'll file that for the auditors with no discussion. Shelley, we've got public comments next before we could go right into Treva, but you want to let us know about the public comments that, is it Bethke? How do you pronounce that?
Yes,
Bethke?
Sandra Bethke.
You want to tell us about that? Is she not going to be able to be on board?
Yeah, she asked me to relay to you all that she was aware that there are a lot of people that want to come into the library, that they're paying taxes for the library and they want to use it. She wants to say that we had a lot of creative programming that's not available now because we're closed to the public. And preschoolers need to be able to look at the books to see the covers, to choose the ones they want. And people like the new books section, but they want to see them so that they can tell us what they want to read. And let's see, sometimes you want to just browse and see magazines and things like that and not check them out at this time. And it's a home away from home, a place to go for a lot of people. So she would just like to be back in the library and use it. And she wanted you all to be aware.
Well, I think that's a burden we all feel sincerely, and it's been really difficult for us, and we'll talk about it, Shelley, when we get to the director's report, I guess, is your recommendation. So we'll, Joe, if you can include in the minutes what Shelley has paraphrased as Ms. Bethke's comments. We certainly wish she could have been here in person, but Shelley gave a pretty good summary of what she was going to say. So if you'll put that in the minutes, we'll consider it that we got her request, and we'll talk about it with Shelley when we get to the director's report. Okay, back to numbers and finance. Treva, I guess we're
Okay.
put some new year budget stuff out there.
Okay, well, let's see, it has the audit thing on here first. And so this is just primarily to keep the board informed. We had in the past, we had been carrying a $5,650 unrestricted fund on the balance sheet. And in the past, we had used this for maintenance in the community room, such as cleaning carpets and stuff. Well, we're all aware of all the extensive plumbing repairs that we had last year. And a lot of these could be directly associated with the community room. And our total plumbing bill was not itemized with exact charges as to, for a particular place. So the auditors suggested that we might consider this as an ideal time to eliminate this unrestricted fund on the balance sheet. And it was not in a segregated bank account. It was just held as part of our operating account. And the total plumbing repairs were paid out of this separate operating account. And I see no reason that, I discussed it with them, neither of us saw any reason that this fund balance should continue to be carried as a special balance sheet item. And the auditor said we don't need a vote, so it's mostly just for your information that we have decided to do this. Is there any questions about that?
Well, I appreciate the auditor's thought, but why don't we vote anyway?
Okay.
Treva, what do you think? I mean, have you got
We
any?
can put it in the minutes. I guess I don't see, it wouldn't, I can't imagine that it would matter, but it's not required, not necessary, I guess. So just that we will use this. So I'll make a motion that we use this fund balance, apply it to plumbing repairs for last year. That
Kelly,
and
does that include some of the sewage stuff, or is that?
yeah, that's yeah. A lot of that was under the community room, bathrooms and
Right.
stuff. So we have no way to separate it out, and we don't really use this. So I think with the pandemic and everything, this probably would be a good time just to apply those funds.
Without those repairs, it would have been backing up into the community room. So,
And cause problems there.
yeah.
Does everybody understand what we're doing and Treva's motion? Or do I have a second for the motion?
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, Treva, more about stuff.
The budget. Okay, we got together and worked on the budget. That's this time of year when we present our budget, proposed budget to the city council and the county court. But what we are mainly suggesting is that a 3% increase. Now, the employees did not get for the first half of the year, they have not had an increase in wages. We just kept it the same. So we are requesting a 3% increase from both the city and the county and primarily, in addition to this, there are 2 part-time employees that we will raise their hours to 30
I'm
hours.
sorry, I called you by mistake.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry. I dialed my phone.
Oh, okay, I lost. Hello?
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Treva.
Oh, okay, you can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 part-time employees who had 28 hours, we're increasing them to 30, which is considered full-time. And so it's a little tricky because those additional hours and them being full-time means that they have their benefits, will have to do benefits. But we felt like this was the best thing to do. And for the fall, because we thought the operations would run a little more fluid if these 2 employees could help learn another, they can do some cross training and learn another position, then would be able to fill in during someone's absence or during a peak or crisis period. And another reason we wanted to consider this is because if we look at the age of some of the employees, we assume that they're going to be retiring soon. And we would rather, replace those from within with people that we know that are dependable and able to do this and work well with other people. Now, the third person is just to give them it's a little more than a 3% increase, so they can assume their duties are almost those of an assistant director now. And I think, did you all get a copy of the minutes from the personnel and finance committees? So we made that, we approved that. And so if we want to present it to the board. Is there any questions?
Yeah, Treva, I was going to let Kay, we had a joint meeting of finance personnel because this sort of bled over into each. Kay, do you want to add anything from personnel?
I believe that would be Elizabeth. She's chair of personnel. Is that right, Elizabeth?
That's right.
Okay.
Well, you know, you all kind of work together, I guess. I get everybody confused.
We do.
Sorry,
We had that confusion.
Kay has, I'm sorry, Kay has
We-
problems.
Right. We look alike. That's what it is.
Sorry. Elizabeth, do you want to add to Treva's statements and from the standpoint of personnel?
Well, I think she covered it pretty clearly. I think the recommendation that we elevate the 3 staff members to full-time status is, she spelled it out pretty clearly.
And if you've got those minutes, Shelley, correct me if I'm wrong. I guess we did this about a year ago, right before COVID kind of took over everything. But we had the budget included some raises, but I think once COVID hit, we just decided to stand pat. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're trying to probably make up for a little lost time here, I guess. But I guess we can consider this a joint motion from personnel and finance, and so it's on the table. If I can get a second, we'll then have any further discussion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, you heard from both finance and personnel. Do I have any more discussion? Anybody want to ask or add anything? All right, those in Treva, you made the motion, right?
Yes. Well, actually, I guess it's just the motion. It passed the finance and personnel
It
committees.
did, yeah. It's
So we
it's
just,
a motion from the committee, so it doesn't. Joe, we're confusing the secretary.
No, I've got it.
It came from both committees, so it didn't need a motion, and Roxanne seconded, I think. So if no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Elizabeth, anything else from personnel besides that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Kay, now we're to policies. I was ahead of myself.
No report except something that applies to the policy about the use of the road behind us. I think we mentioned that the health department is going to open up 2 lanes behind the library, but they have that well supervised.
Shelley, you know, we worried a little bit about it with the health department and the county, and making sure we didn't have any glitches there. At least when I drive by, it looks like it's running fairly smoothly. Do you want to update us on what you're seeing?
Yeah, it looks like it's running a lot smoother since they have 2 lanes too. They get through there quicker, I believe.
no bottlenecks or any traffic problems.
Now, the left side of the library where you enter in by the health department, between us and the health
Yes.
department, we can't use that, but we're using the right to come in and out. So that's a little tricky, but I think it works. Right now, it's just employees parking back there anyway.
Well, it may get a little trickier when we open up.
Yeah, and
Yes, that may be the test.
I did mention to them, I went to the meeting on Friday and I mentioned to them that we would be possibly closed through March 30th to the public. But after that, we might need to, say something about the traffic coming and going or something, if it gets to be a problem.
Well, it's hard to say because by
Yeah.
that time we might be more open to more age groups, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows so far with the more at-risk age groups. It's not been a terrible bottleneck or anything there that we.
no, it's been good. And they are working on doing some big events to get more at one time vaccinated.
Right.
They're working at Walter State and things. So I think the further as they go, it's getting less and less.
And
We're getting
I think, and this is just me, but we thought it was all going to be at the health department, but pharmacies are doing it. The Walter State thing that
Yeah.
Sherry talked about. Heck, my old law partner Dennis Inman went to Bristol Motor Speedway to get his shot. They're all over the place. So that may account for some of it. It's not all on the health department like we maybe feared back in the fall, I guess. So, but Kay, anything else on that and policy?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Alpha, long range planning. There you are.
Yes,
Person.
the camera sort of was lopsided. No report on the long range planning except that we will have a Zoom meeting in between this meeting and our next meeting.
Okay, everybody on the committee be aware of that. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Shelley, anything on building and grounds from Deborah?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
How about nominating?
Have not heard anything.
Treva, anything purchasing?
No, nothing I know of.
Unfinished business? Anybody got anything from? Shelley, the next topic is public comments, but I guess we've got two separate places and how we set this up.
Yeah.
So we've already dealt with Ms. Bethke's comments, and I don't think she's not been able to get online, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
All right, with that, Shelley, the director's report.
Okay. I'll find it. I think what I would recommend to do as far as the library and with all the double lanes and things going through the back parking lot is keep at curbside through March 30th. And with no community room use during March. I do have a request from United Way to use the community room in May so that they can socially distance and have a meeting that they need to have. So I guess, it's hard to tell what to do because of the situation with the COVID and everything. But they need it for May 3rd, 4th, 6th, and the 10th. And they said they would have about 25 people. But I'm not sure if that's enough. I guess it's big enough room for social distancing. That is a request that I just got yesterday.
That's from the United Way?
Yes. And, I would like to help them, but I don't know if we should do that or not.
Well, I don't want to, when in May it is.
Yeah. It's May 3rd, 4th, 6th, and the 10th is when they need it.
Oh, are those committee meetings or do we know?
Yeah, committee meetings.
Well, there, are the numbers divided up with the 25 will be at each meeting, do you know, or is that?
He said that I think they're at each meeting, and there might be some people coming and going to those meetings. So I don't know if there's a larger room they could use or not. It's in the afternoon, like 3:30 to 8:30.
Kelly, have you done any measuring or any modeling to see how many that room will comfortably hold at 6 feet apart?
Not at 6 feet apart, I have not, but I know that it will hold so many people in chairs and tables and things like that. So if they were to separate the tables, they could possibly do that.
That's what I was going to suggest. Is there a way to reconfigure the room to safely hold 25 people?
I'd say they could, especially if they wore their masks and everything.
Which I feel like we'll be doing for a good long time. So.
Maybe they could sort of do tables in the round, around the edges and
Yeah.
speaker in the middle of the room. That might help.
Okay.
Well, do we want to make a motion to tentatively approve subject to any changes with COVID and require them to reconfigure for social distancing and wear masks? Is that the gist, Elizabeth, of what you want to make a motion, or anybody?
That's appropriate, I think, yes.
We-
But it would be for this particular use only, although, we may use the same guidelines for other groups who may request it.
I think
Makes
the
sense.
question is going to be, are we opening the door for everybody? And that's a harder question, I guess.
Yeah.
We've had a
Well,
lot.
on the other hand, the library is a public space and it is available to the community if we believe they can safely distance, if we believe it's safe, and, that's our call.
Well, that's, Joe, have you got Elizabeth's motion?
I do.
Do I have a second? Anybody want a second?
I would add maybe that could they disinfect when they leave the tables and chairs or something, wipe them down with something that we could add that to the motion.
Yeah.
If they do that. And then,
Reconfigure, social distance, masks, and disinfect.
right. And I'll second.
And how about subject to any changes with COVID?
Right.
That's good.
Is that, I know I'm speeding things along here, but is that the gist of what you want to do?
That sounds reasonable.
Yes.
Did you want to do a time limit?
Those things, if it's budgetary stuff, from my days at United Way, it takes a while. Those are multi-hour meetings. Is that what it is, Shelley?
Yeah. He wanted it from 3:30 to 8:30. I would say they're going from 4 to 8. So that's like 4 hours.
Yeah, they're not short.
Yeah.
Shelley, you may want to take a look at Rose Center guidelines for people that use their rooms.
Okay.
In terms of, you might want to get a hold of Becky. I know she's in a conference on a Zoom the next 2 days, but ask her to email you their list of things that people have to do when they finish meeting in the room
Okay.
because of the COVID.
Thank you.
I thought those were good guidelines.
Okay.
David, that's probably when they're going to do the hearings of agencies that come before them to
Yeah.
request funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it may very well be 25 people in the room. So, I guess I'm wondering here whether to go ahead and approve the motion now, or maybe get a little more information and defer it. I mean, we're really not close to early May yet, but on the other hand, Gary Matthews and United Way, I'm sure want to make plans. Shelley, how big of a deal would it be if we defer things subject to, and not vote, and subject to their response to these concerns of can you social distance, will you wear a mask, will you disinfect, can you use the Rose Center guidelines?
Okay.
Do you think Gary's in a bigger rush that couldn't wait till the March meeting, or do you think we need to at least give him tentative approval now from your talking to him?
Yeah, he did mention that he knew this was the time for our board meeting. So he thought he'd better call me right away. So I'm sure he wants to get the information out to others, give them time to plan.
Yeah, and Gary's a former board member. He knows the drill. Well, let's do this. Do I have a second for Elizabeth's motion?
I second.
Triva, right?
Okay, with that motion before us and a second, do we have any further discussion about whether or not we want to go ahead and approve it subject to those qualifications?
I think we could give Shelley authority to make sure, to see that they are meeting those guidelines or something. And
Yeah.
All right, those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Joe, can you work your magic and get all that into the minutes?
Wait,
I've got it.
Okay, Shelley,
He's on
anything else about the community room before we get to general library service for starting next month?
Dwayne Nelson just entered.
Oh, okay.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Well, we haven't really talked about curbside and library,
yeah.
but anything
I
else?
would like to stay at curbside like we're doing right now, with our hours being until 6 and the curbside ends at 5:30.
Well, before we get to that, anything else on community room, or did the United Way pretty well take care of?
There were some people that have been asking to use it, but right now I think that we should wait until more of this traffic in the back gets situated and everything like that.
Who else has made requests? Do you remember?
I did not have a specific name. They were patrons though.
Just asking, when are you going to open up the community room?
Yeah, they wanted it to use it for like a shower or something like that.
Okay, general public stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just for the sake of argument, can we give United Way access and not anybody else?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Amy's shaking her head no. I mean, we could do some booking in May. We don't have anything right now, but we could start in May.
Well, in terms of a specific request, have they just been generic questions about?
Yeah, when we're going to be taking requests to use the community room. Of course, United Way, I was going to waive the fee too, if that's okay with the board for them, since they are for nonprofits and everything.
Well, I mean, ultimately, we've got to decide any request for the community room. So, Amy, do you want to unmute and tell us what was bothering you there?
This is public space. And if you start picking and choosing who can use public space, it's not public space anymore, is the concern. Because it can, it can look like favoritism. It can look like you're picking some person over another person. And that's not a road you want to go down, because the wrong person doesn't get picked and you could be looking at a lawsuit. So just something to consider. With public space, it's all or nothing.
Okay.
And Ms. Bethke has already raised this issue this morning.
Yes.
Well, we could amend the motion if it's the board's intent, and maybe defer it a month, and we'll make a more definitive decision on the community room. Shelley, if you could talk to, if that's the board's pleasure, you could talk to Gary Matthews and tell him we'd just like to wait a month because we want to consider everybody.
Right.
So does anybody want to amend that motion to delay any community room decisions at least for a month? And I guess the argument for that is the numbers are better. And Shelley, we haven't even got to curbside yet, but the numbers are better. And I think everybody's encouraged, and we all want to stick our toe in the water. But I don't know that it would hurt to put United Way on hold for a month and then decide at the March meeting, maybe more specifically how we're going to handle the community room. So what are the board thoughts on that?
I agree. I think that's better.
Anybody want to make a motion to amend? Whose motion was it? Was it Treva's motion?
No, it was mine.
Elizabeth's motion.
We can just,
I will amend the motion.
Okay. As opposed to Joe, as opposed to tentatively approving the United Way request, to defer it for a month, and the board will consider more specific guidelines for the community room. Is that fair, Elizabeth? Okay. The motion's made. Do I have a second?
well, I'll second that one too. So,
All right. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. Shelley, we heard Ms. Bethke's concerns earlier, and I am certainly sympathetic and aware, and I know what she's saying. This is hard. It really is.
Yes.
Tell us what you think about curbside versus, maybe when were we last partially opened? Was that before Thanksgiving? I'm trying to remember.
I believe it was in October.
And I
Maybe
think,
even earlier. I can't remember.
yeah, the
Without
numbers
looking.
were going up, so we went back to curbside. What do you think? What's your response to the board?
I think that we should stay at curbside just for the month of March, and then look at maybe opening partially again in April or May.
That's assuming the numbers continue to
go down, because we do have the second strain to think about that they're coming up with, and also the double lanes in the back would make it difficult in March for parking.
Anybody have any thoughts or
Looking back at the minutes, the October minutes and the November minutes look like that they limited indoor traffic to 5 people at a time by appointment for 1 hour per day, computer use, and limited the community room to only the Friends and Homebound with a limited capacity of 10 people. And so that's what we had done, it looks like, in October and November.
That sounds right.
So just so that, yeah. And then in December, from the 14th to 18th, we had said that we were operated on a limited curbside basis.
Back to curbside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
Is
that
that
was,
talking to me
that
or
was 12/8 at the called meeting.
Alpha? Were you wanting to say something, or are you waving at somebody else?
No, unfortunately, I was waving at my boss. He just came in the office. He's like, "Are you watching a movie?" And I'm like, "No, I'm on a Zoom."
Okay, Amy, I make you do this every meeting. What's everybody else doing before we vote?
It's again, it's like it's always been. It's kind of all over the map. We have some libraries, again, like I've said, that have never closed. Some that are that have been open but on limited service. By appointment or letting people in. Most of our bigger libraries right now are just doing curbside, and they are planning on mid-March. A lot of them mid-March to the end of March to start slowly reopening. So I know Johnson City is going to do some soft reopening with limited open to the public advertised for 1st of April. Bristol's opening mid-March. Kingsport, I believe, is opening early March. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but you're right on the mark with pretty much what everybody's doing.
Well, Shelley, let me throw this at you and open it for board discussion. What about staying curbside to the end of March, or sooner reopening on a limited basis if the director and board chair want to call a special meeting? If those mid-March days that Amy is mentioning, and that's not that far. I mean, that's 2 weeks basically. So we're about there. So that would be another option to modify Shelley's recommendation a little bit to, maybe leave open say curbside to the end of March, but leave open the possibility of a special call meeting if we want to before the next scheduled board meeting. Anybody have any appeal to that, or is that just too close to think about?
It sounds logical.
Will the traffic situation resolve in the next 2 weeks?
Can't tell.
It's hard to tell for sure. They were just trying this out to see how it went anyway, so I'm not sure what their assessment is.
Now, who do you mean there, Shelley?
Oh, the health department.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
double lanes in the back.
Well, that certainly is a problem. I mean, it makes public
Yeah.
access more difficult, but
Of course, we could just announce that problem and have them park elsewhere.
Sounds like it would just be simpler to wait until the end of March.
I feel the same way.
well, we can always call a special meeting. I
Right.
mean, it doesn't have to be in minutes. So if anybody wants to make a motion to approve Shelley's recommendation,
Go straight.
we'll move ahead.
I so move.
Anybody second?
Second, Kay.
Okay. Motion on the floor. Any further discussion?
Is it to remain curbside
Yep.
through until the next board meeting, or through March?
Through
Well,
March.
Through March, okay.
Who made the motion?
Roxanne,
Roxanne, through the end of March or through next board meeting?
through March, and we'll decide at the next board meeting what to do from there. change if we want to.
All right, everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, Shelley, what else from director?
We're just staying busy and working on the shelves, weeding and getting ready for new books to come on. So we're staying busy in the library.
How has it been with curbside? I mean, staff wise and public wise, how would you categorize it?
It has been going really well. Of course, there are some people that want to come in, so I understand the need, you know.
How about staff?
I think everything's are going. The staff is happier with curbside right now, but I think things are getting better. So by the end of March, they should be ready to do some extra in-house things, you know, with the patrons.
Well, it's hard, you know, we're here to serve the public.
Yeah.
Difficult, it really is.
Yeah.
But gosh, you hate to get to this point and then have somebody say, I got COVID at the library, you know? I mean, we've got light at the end of the tunnel.
And we did have two staff members that came down with the COVID too.
Yeah.
During this time.
No quarantining right now.
No quarantines right now.
Okay, anything else on director's report? You've got a few other things on our printout that we can look at. Anything else you need to comment about?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. New business. Shelley, anything?
Did anybody else read that the governor had extended the electronic meeting through the next month? Is that right, Amy?
I had not looked today, so I don't know. If you give me 1 second, I can double check it to make sure.
I thought it was March 31st with the last order, but I may have misread it.
The reason I was asking is about our meeting in March, maybe being a Zoom meeting again.
Yeah. You know, I've got the order here somewhere. If you all want to wait a minute till I can dig it out.
It
Amy,
looks like there hasn't been a new order yet. The order only goes through, I think, the 27th of February.
Okay.
But if everything goes like he's been doing it the past year, he will wait until later this week to announce anything, I would imagine. So I'll keep an eye out. I'm home today, so I wasn't really looking, but I will keep an eye out, and when I see something, I will definitely pass it on and let you all know. We're hoping that he does extend it at least through March. But at this point, it's now up in the air. It's not as certain as it was for the past year. So, you know, with different mandates being loosened and whatnot. So I will keep an eye out for that and let you all know. And we can go from there.
You know, I think I had in my head, we have a Supreme Court order we had a Supreme Court order through the end of March about in-person court appearances. So I guess I'm confusing that with the electronic thing, but Kay, I'm glad you brought it up. And by the way, the Supreme Court amended that order, and this has kind of maybe become a date for everybody, but they amended it till March 15th from end of March. So maybe, Amy, March 15th is the magic date. I don't know, but courts open back up on March the 15th. Okay. Any other new business? All right, Amy, regional report.
Okay, I don't have much of anything other than what was we do have a date for the grand opening of the new Tennessee State Library and Archives. That grand opening date is April 12th. They will be doing a ribbon cutting and tours for the legislators and whatnot. So I've been told they're going to be doing everything very safely and very social distancing. So, anytime after the 12th, or if you're in Nashville on the 12th, please try to go to the ribbon cutting. It should be wonderful. But if you're there anytime after, I'm sure someone would love to give you a tour of the new building. I've seen pictures of it, and I've seen a year ago I was there and saw the construction going on. It is going to be fabulous. I cannot wait to see it myself. I don't know when that'll be, but I'm excited to see it too. So April 12th is going to be the grand opening of the new Tennessee State Library and Archives. So other than that, just keep going with any grants. Top grant is due this week, I believe. The CARES grant and the tech grant are both open right now. And if I can be of any help with anything, please don't hesitate to call me or stop by or give me an email or a smoke signal, whatever you need. I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Shelley, any, I can't remember, are we still doing a Friends report at the end of the agenda, or?
No,
No,
stopped doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, we did that with Nancy on the
We
board.
just close the meeting and then have a friends conversation.
Yeah. Shelley, anything else you need to tell us about, or does anybody else have any business we need to deal with?
Friends did ask for a representative from the board member to, from the board members to be an actual advocate on their board to represent the library board. So if anyone's interested in that, please let me know and I will get the information to Jim Whitbeck, who's the president of Friends.
Anybody wants to volunteer, call Shelley, I guess. I don't know if anybody's been on the Friends board.
And Nancy Burnett was the last one, and Ron.
Yeah, Ron was, for sure, I think. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
I did a Zoom church meeting last night. I've got a Zoom mediation in the morning and a Zoom deposition on Thursday. I'm tired of Zoom. I love you
You're just
all,
a
but
Zooming.
I would like to see you in person. Okay, until next time.
Blur.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did he see the girl?
Nope.
Say, God.